Now look, I know what you're probably thinking. A video on a gacha game? Seriously? Well, yeah, I'm dead serious. It might sound like a gag, but I wouldn't be here making this video if I didn't believe that Honkai Star Rail was something special, something truly out of the ordinary. As far as gacha games go, this is the least gacha I've ever experienced. Honkai Star Rail is a gacha that doesn't feel like a gacha at times, and it doesn't compromise on the quality either. This game is drop dead gorgeous, and that's exactly where I want to start this whole discussion, because if it wasn't for the incessant advertising, I don't think I'd be here playing the game on the regular or making this video about it. As dumb luck would have it, I actually got exposed to Star Rail a month after the game released in April 2023. Let me paint the picture for you guys. There I was, roaming the streets of Akihabara, Tokyo, when a pink-haired, jubilant girl holding a bow waved at me from a billboard. I didn't think much of it, but when I boarded my train to go to my next destination, there she was again, waving and smiling at me. It was probably just coincidence that I'd ran into her 2 times already, but as soon as I left my train, would you be able to guess who was there to welcome me on the platform? At this point, I'd taken it as a sign, and as soon as I arrived back home, I installed the game, and it was then that I realized, I don't need to go outside to see her winking at me anymore. She's always there, sitting on my desktop, waiting patiently for me to double click on the icon. So anyway, I later found out that this character is named March 7th. No, I didn't make that up. Her name is the 3rd month of the year, March, specifically on the 7th day. It's later explained that the reason for this naming convention is that March 7th happens to be the day that she thought her way out of a block of ice, like some Steve Rogers Captain America type beat. Only she has no recollection of who she was or why she was drifting in space encased in never melting ice. So to mark her birth as a new individual, she named herself March 7th, which honestly, that's kind of cool. But hold on, I'm actually a little ahead of myself, because even though this girl is the poster child and the mascot for Honkai Star Rail, she's not the first character you see when you launch the game. That honor instead goes to this lady right here. Whoa. My god. Is it hot in here in this space station or wherever we are, or is it just me? And hold on. Did she just say that she used part of her DNA to create the main character? The main character as in me? So then, that would mean, if everything lines up, she's my mommy? So as I was saying a moment ago, Honkai Star Rail is actually the best game ever made. No competition. Anyway, once you get past that little opening segment where you meet a whole cast of characters, you get thrown straight into the actual game. Gacha games tend to be time sensitive, and Star Rail is no exception, with limited time characters and events that only run for a certain time frame. But while this might be a point of dissatisfaction for other gacha games, it's actually one of Star Rail's strongest points. There still exist those minor timed events that give you resources to pool for new characters and gear, but the more major events are permanently available. Whether you're a new player or a returning one, you'll still have the opportunity to experience past events, though you'll have to make do with the fact that some of the rewards that came with the event when it initially launched are no longer available. But if it's between that and not having the event at all, then I think this is a perfect middle ground that rewards dedicated players while also giving new players a taste of the future events that are to come if they choose to stick around. Limited characters are still time gated, and if you missed one that looks cool, you'll just have to wait for a rerun. But that's another point that Honkai Star Rail makes good on. The premium currency of this game, this orange thing called Stellar Jades, are given to the player in spades. I wish I was exaggerating, but the accumulation rate of the premium currency is so ridiculously high that it can sometimes begin to feel like you're not even playing a gacha game, provided you aren't trying to get every single limited character, because if that is the case, it's not jades that you need, my friend, but a consultation with your wallet. Here's a really well done graph that I found on the Honkai Star Rail subreddit made by user u/arcus that outlines roughly how many jades you get from each patch. Keep in mind that this is slightly outdated since we're now at version 2.2 and probably even further along by the time this video gets out, but as you can see from the data, the more permanent content that makes its way into the game, the more and more jades become available. Having over 100 pulls every patch means that, on average, you'll be guaranteeing yourself at least one 5-star character per patch, and if luck is on your side, maybe even multiple. That is, if you choose to spend those hard-earned jades every patch, since there's no obligation for you to do so. You could always save them for later and splurge on a character you've got your eyes on. Speaking of which, oh man, the characters in this game are just the cream of the crop. Their designs are fantastic all across the board, and the animations in and out of combat are amazing. Hoyoverse themselves stated that Persona 5 was a point of major inspiration for them, both artistically and from a gameplay perspective. And if you've watched my previous video on fighting games where I talked about Persona 4 Arena Ultimax, you'll know I adore Megaten. So trying out Star Rail was a no-brainer for me. I mean, come on, you can't tell me this guy was not modeled after Joker. They practically look like siblings. If you like stylish, turn-based combat, then it really can't hurt to give Star Rail a try. The game is free, And who knows, you might really end up enjoying yourself. And if you do end up staying, then rest assured that you'll be treated well. Those of us that have stuck with the game since its launch can attest to Hoyoverse's incredible support. Many of the features that could be best described as minor inconveniences or tedious at best have been completely ironed out and revamped to offer the smoothest gameplay experience. It's not only that, because Hoyoverse seems to really love Honkai Star Rail. After winning Mobile Game of the Year at the Game Awards in 2023, they offered 10 free pulls and a 5-star character to all players just like that. More recently, the first anniversary event just concluded and they spewed out free tickets to pull unlimited characters like a broken slot machine. For the record, it needs to be stated that I'm not really a gacha guy and I'm not advertised at all to talk about this game. I played only one before this, called Final Fantasy Brave Exvius War of the Visions, which, oh man, that is a mouthful of a title, but that game kind of bit the dust with TikTok influencer crossovers, so it was also time for me to leave as well. I tried DX2, which is Atlus and Sega's attempt at making Mega 10 into a gacha, which is a great idea on paper since Megami Tensei predates Pokemon in the monster catching department, and we all know how successful Pokemon Masters EX is. But after getting to the title screen and seeing the absolutely cluttered interface, I kindly bowed out. But I'll never forget when March 7th, who I didn't know by name at the time, stared down at me from her billboard in Akihabara. It was from that moment that I knew that Honkai Star Rail was finally the gacha for me. No, but seriously, give this game a try. You won't regret it. It's free anyway, and you can always delete it if you don't like it. But if you do, then there's this free 4-star character who actually feels like a 5-star because sometimes she just gets kind of lucky because she gambles and she does a ridiculous amount of damage. And I mean, that's kind of funny.
What the fuck was that damage, my guy? Oh!
I was getting footage anyways, so might as well. I don't even know what. Is that a 5-star? Bro, I don't even know what my pity was. I'm pretty sure that was a 5-star. I don't have the audio, I have the visual effect. Yeah, dude. What? Yo, what?